So, my name is Amin, and I'm a security researcher with Kaspersky Lab Global Research and Analysis Team, again. So, going directly to the brief of this presentation, we're not here to talk about personal drones, all right? So let me clarify. This is not on a personal level, something that you can run at home, not even on a professional level, which could be used to do all sorts of things, interesting things, definitely, but we're here to talk about serious matters of automated drones automatically running missions all over a city environment, all over a city geography. And these definitely have a lot of differences with what we know as drones, and they could be doing all sorts of things, including delivery. Like, we all need our pizza delivered by drones. I'm really waiting for that to happen. But again, this is definitely a single use of many other uses of drones. I'm lazy by nature, so I'm really loving the idea of something in my hand in 5-10 years that detects, oh, he's missing, he has a low humidity, or he needs some water, and then a drone comes in automatically and then gives me some water. So that's a really nice idea that I'm looking for. But again, our graphic designers are doing an amazing job, right? Like, it's really good. But the question is actually, do you really believe that a safe municipal drone program is even possible? That's definitely a good question to ask, because if you look at the complexities and the challenges that we're trying to tackle, then things get a bit obscure. It is possible, again, but it's not gonna be easy, all right? And we definitely have a lot of challenges to worry about. Among them, privacy-related challenges, of course. So, furthermore, next, municipal drone programs, they have all sorts of uses, whether through commercial uses, whether through police-related utilizations, monitoring, coastal or border monitoring, firefighting, and medical inspections, etc. And this is just a small list. We are expecting actually drones to be running a lot of things and replacing a lot of tasks and jobs inside smart cities. Companies doing, just talking about companies doing delivery and security, physical security, they have hundreds of thousands of employees, and a lot of their jobs, sadly, maybe sadly, but a lot of their jobs would be replaced by drones. Again, these people could be taught to do more innovative types of jobs, and we can definitely profit as a humanity from all of this progress. So, we move forward. Challenges. There's a lot of challenges around securing a smart city environment. And I encourage you to Google Securing Smart Cities Safe Drones program, and you'll find our recent publication with the guys from Cloud Security Alliance, where you can look at a whole bunch of recommendations around the smart city. We'll talk about that also in the next slide. So, challenges. Complexity, of course. How are we going to manage hundreds of thousands of drones running all over our heads? Like, I got a small drone, something like this, Parrot device, for home use, and I don't trust it running over my head. And if we're going to have hundreds of thousands of all of these devices running all over the city, doing all sorts of good things, but then again, they can fail, and they can crash, and they can cause damage. They can monitor us. They can track our activities, right? be pervasive for our privacy. Challenges are there, and they are really legit in terms of how are we going to manage this infrastructure in a smart city environment? And how are we going to respond when something happens? Like, this is how drones are being described now, because they do have all of these sensors, like infrared sensors, cameras, scanners, and they can do all sorts of bad things, definitely. But definitely, we have challenges that we need to tackle and then identify how we can proceed forward. Not all drones need cameras. It's probably one of the simple answers. So, we move forward. This is part of the recent publication that we did with the Cloud Security Alliance, and you can see all sorts of recommendations around planning, designing, acquiring drone technology, and then how to integrate it on a municipal level and how to maintain it and protect it. I definitely encourage you to have a look at this document, and it's also, the links are listed here. You just need to Google Smart Cities Security Safe Drones Program, and you'll immediately get a huge list of findings related to this document. So, 4 tips for today. 4 tips. Take them with a grain of salt, because these are more on the theoretical side, and we probably don't have these solutions yet. But again, these are just propositions to help us probably get a grip on securing municipal level drone systems. All right, so tip number 1, standardized modular systems. 2, specialized infrastructure, real-time dynamic communication control, and 4, continuous monitoring and security management. And we'll look at them in the next few slides. So tip number 1, in a smart city environment, or on a city level environment, we don't really need all drones to be fully equipped with all of these sensors and scanners and cameras, right? They only need specific equipment for each mission. And we definitely can and are able to implement modular systems, which implement add-ons of storage, of sensors, of grabbers, communication equipment for different communication channels even, and they all could be part of a municipal type of drone programs, right? A delivery drone, as an example, might not need an infrared scanner, or might not need a camera even. There are all sorts of examples. This is just another example with some emergency type of equipment, and it needs some grabbers and some sensors for proximity, etc. So this is related to tip number 1. Tip number 2, specialized infrastructure. And this is around the standardization of systems. We need capability to verify software and hardware. Like, if these drones get manipulated, or if someone tries to run piggyback on any of these drones and implement some additional hardware or software, then we need something to be able to help us mitigate that and block that, identify that when it is happening. And this could be done through the charging pads. In a smart city environment or in a city on a municipal level, we're expecting charging drones, right? Drop pads for the drones when they finish their missions. And these could have hardware and software integrity scanners. And they could help into identifying if something went wrong. And if this is definitely a good place to start. You would also, like, I'd expect a question, but you can also manipulate these. But these could be located in a specific location and then physically protected in a city environment. And they will definitely help us identify rogue systems. Again, another thing to mention, authentication and authorization. And this is definitely an interesting thing. You all know what is authentication and authorization, but in a municipal drones program, authentication and authorization is about connecting to this communication channel. So it could be, let's say, we're connecting through 4G, 5G type of network, and you can do that, for example, on our mobile phones. We do it with SIM cards. Now, we're all in St. Martin, and I don't have access to any of the network because my SIM card doesn't support it, right? And authentication and authorization could be done, as an example, through a SIM card type of solutions, but then they could probably be also hard-coded inside the drone systems because we don't want them to be stolen. There could be protection measures for these solutions that enable better authentication and authorization into the communication channels, into the mobile network. For example, isolated communication channels. Being on the internet is, or being present with many other devices and many other people on the same network is not exactly as good as it gets, or it seems, but then we need some type of isolation for these drones, some types of isolation for the, it could be hardware isolation for the communication equipment, something like different mobile towers, communication channels, etc., but that's again a bit harder to do, maybe even not worth it, but we can do all sorts of isolation on a soft level, on a communication channel type of, I've been hearing all sorts of things about MPLS over 4G and 5G. So that could be an option into isolating these systems because we don't want people poking around and trying to figure out how to take them down, how to block their activities, how to DDoS them, etc. And it's a way of protection, again. Isolated communication channels is definitely one of the important aspects. And again, charging stations, we spoke about that. Part of the specialized infrastructure is also some types of radars. Because when we have a drone that is hovering all around the city and reporting, oh, I'm at location X, I'm at location Y, I'm following mission to destination Z, etc. We also need to verify that. And this is part of our cyber physical awareness, being cyber physically capable. So we need radars to actually verify that this drone is actually following the same route that it's reporting. So following X, then Y, and then going to destination Z through mission X. See, that's important. We need some type of awareness and verification, some type of assurance that drones are actually doing what they are meant to be doing. We are not expected to have a person running a drone and a person per drone. Then it's not worth it, right? So, tip number 3, dynamically controlled communication. So, I'm getting a pizza. Drone is assigned to a mission. One drone was assigned to the mission, and then it gets authenticated to the network, and then it is allowed communication with the specific mission servers. So this is just a small example, and this could be dynamically done based on each mission. Some type of filtering of the traffic, some type of firewalling, but again, it's different from our current solutions because in current world or in current organizations, what we know about is that alerts get ignored, right? In any bank now or in any organization, a lot of the alerts, they receive hundreds and thousands of alerts. In this case, an alert is an exception. An alert, some device is trying to connect elsewhere. This is an exception that requires someone to deal with it, someone to handle it, an incident, all right? So dynamic traffic control is also one of the interesting facts inside a municipal drone program. Tip number 4, continuous monitoring and security. You probably have seen some of these maps. This is, I think, from FlightAware. And we need to know the location of each of these hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of drones in each second, because we have to. And we do that currently with flights, right? And then we need to do the same with drones. And it's not only about flying drones. It's also about water drones, more challenges. It's also about driving drones, like in the streets maybe, or walking drones. See, there's all sorts of things that we need to tackle. And this could also be done through specialized radars. Continuous monitoring and alerting in case of incident. And that's part of going towards an incident response and going towards a cyber-physical type of solutions. Let's take a small scenario, right? Because 4 tips are maybe a little bit too much. So a small scenario. Here's my laser. All right, so I want a drone to collect my garbage. All right? Mission, collect garbage. It was assigned to a specific drone pad. It is collecting, it is there charging. It would be assigned and then authorized to run the mission. It is scanned for hardware and software integrity, so we can verify that there is no additional stuff that were added to spy on the people, etc., or spy on the route. The drone then gets authenticated to the mobile network or to the mission infrastructure, gets up and running, all right, and its traffic goes into the mission servers for location tracking and for location assessment, and then going towards the mission destination. So collecting, for example, the garbage and then throwing it somewhere. This is part of the whole mission. And again, we do have monitoring in place in case something goes wrong. For example, radar systems would be tracking these devices and correlating their reported location with the actual location, and in case of variations, there would be alerts, there would be an incident response. Maybe in case of failure, there will be an alternative solution that is launched to recover. For example, I don't know, if a pizza drone fails, then probably it's too late, but you probably dispatch another pizza, right? That's contingency planning. So in case of jammers, that's also another question, because jammers are definitely an interesting type of attacks, and these jammers require another type of incident response. They could require some other specialized drones to be able to look for activities, for malicious types of activities, sources of jammers. They could communicate in different channels. And a lot of these operations could be done automatically. All of this verification of software and traffic and communication, security over the traffic, this all could be done automatically. We just need to think about it with the vendors, with the related vendors. So to break into the municipal drone program, you need to bypass the infrastructure authentication. Simple example could be 4G, 5G. Bypass the hardware software integrity on the scanners, and then they are physically also monitored and secured. Bypass dynamic traffic control. How are you going to bypass that? I'm not exactly sure, but it's always possible. Bypass the program mission servers. So you also need to change things on the other end. And bypass location tracking. So that's part of the cyber physical awareness, being aware that drone is going to destination Y and is actually following this destination. Now the question is, do we have anything of it yet? And the answer is, not really. And it's just a matter of time and discussions in between the vendors and the community to know exactly what we need and what we further need to be developing into securing the drones municipal program from within, integrating the security measures within all of this infrastructure, and then of course being able to do something possible. So as a conclusion, yes, we do have a lot of work to do, and we are responsible for sharing and communicating together towards developing and being more aware of cybersecurity issues in a smart city environment. We definitely encourage you to get in touch with us if you'd like to be part of securing smart cities. It's a non-profit organization, and anyone can join in to contribute to better security in a smart city environment. And it will not be easy, but it will definitely and absolutely be worth it.